What's up, guys? It's Packy from the house, and today we're going to go over how to throw a bowling ball faster. So let's get into it.
All right, so today we are going to go over Ryan's game. He gave us a couple things that he thinks he needs to work on. One of them was bending his knee at the line, which is definitely something that we're going to talk about. But then he also expressed something that he wants to work on, which is creating a little higher ball speed. So as I've noticed, he doesn't throw it super hard. And being a two-hander, his rev rate is pretty high, which means his ball hooks a lot, and probably he's having a little bit of trouble with his ball hooking too much. So I'm just going to go over probably two things that I think, would really help him out with his ball speed. And then one more thing that I think he can just do in general that would be a little bit better for his game as well. So the biggest thing for me, this doesn't really relate to ball speed, but this would be just staying on balance. So he said he has trouble bending his knee at the line and he's working on it. So right here, he actually has really good bend. You can see his knee's bent pretty good. He's sitting down on it. However, it doesn't stay this way. So one thing I would like to see from Ryan is for him to maintain this knee bend, if not go even deeper as he releases the ball. So you notice he goes from this knee bend right here, probably right here, and his spine's up here, which, isn't bad. But then you see as he releases the ball, he ends up with almost no knee bend at all, where he's standing, right up on top of it right here, basically a straight leg. And then his spine as well is very upright, which I'm not saying that this would be bad or that this would be good, but I would like to see you maintain. So the knee bend is not great here. And I would like to see you get maybe somewhere in between that, super deep knee bend that you have right upon release and that straight up. Cause it's clear that, maybe sitting that far down on it isn't maintainable, but maybe right here after you release it, maybe you can maintain something like this kind of knee bend right here. And then as you release it, just try to stay down on it. And this is a discipline thing. Maybe it's changing the sole or changing the tackiness of your shoe to get a more consistent slide instead of popping up on it to almost save yourself from crossing the foul line. And then on as well as that, that's where your balance would come into play. So staying a little more disciplined and staying a little more on top of it, I think would help you gain some ball speed, as you talked about, you expressed as a concern. So balance is huge. It's one of the biggest things for me, whether it's for ball speed, for accuracy, for power, whatever. It just helps your consistency out as a whole. So I would just like to see you stay more balanced. And with that being said, I think one of the things that can also help you balance, so you have that knee bend and that pop up, which I think is a discipline thing, but it also, I would like to see your hips more in line. So you see your leg is pretty much pointing, your hips don't sit on top of your foot. Whereas once you finish right here, it's a little easier to stay balanced. But since your hips are almost further back off of your hips are like offset to the left over your foot. Instead of stacking everything like hips, knees, head in line, it seems that your hips are kind of too far left, where your hips are here and your foot's off to the right and your head's off to the right and then the ball's off to the right. So everything is to the right of your hips, which makes you almost fall off balance to the left, it looks like. So kind of just keep everything stacked up and keep that knee bend a little deeper, and that'll help you create a little more power, a little more ball speed, and it'll help your shot making increase accuracy a ton. And now the biggest thing that I would give you to increase your ball speed, instead, not just the balance. So the balance is going to help your ball speed a little bit, and it's going to help your accuracy a ton. But the biggest thing that I could see that would help your ball speed would be your arm swing. So you get it in this good starting position right here, and you have a 5-step approach. So I would suggest on the second step you push away. But it looks to me, this would be where you start to push away. But it looks to me like you actually don't have a push away. So you have this very short arm swing. We'll go through the whole thing. And it looks like you have this very short arm swing and you don't really have a push away, which means it's all of that like power that you're trying to create and all that ball speed you're trying to create is coming mainly from your feet and your basically just your right arm and a little bit your legs. But because you don't have an arm swing and your arm swing's not too fluid with your feet, it's hard for you to create a lot of power because the ball's not moving at a high speed coming off your hand, so it has to be generated from your legs. So the biggest thing I would say is, start to create a little bit of a push away. It doesn't have to be big, but you're basically pulling the ball back and then pushing it forward. You have this, it'd be better if I had a side angle, but I can see right here that you don't really have too much of a push away because your elbow right here is attached to your body. And then as we go 2 steps in, your elbow is still pretty much attached to your body. So as we get 2 steps in, let's try and find it right here. It's really your push away, but it seems like you're just dropping the ball back and kind of pushing it back with your left hand and your right hand cupping underneath it. So I would say if you could create some sort of push away and create a little longer arm swing, your swing doesn't get very high, which it doesn't need to get super high, but I would suggest that you get it into more of a swing, and that way it's easier for you to launch the ball out of your hand. So a little more forward, a little further back, and then you'd be able to really use your legs as well as your arm swing to get that ball flying off of your hand instead of basically you using all of your tricep to just try and throw the ball and try to power the ball down the lane. The more that you try and throw the ball yourself, the harder it's going to be for you to actually gain ball speed. Some of the biggest power players and some of the guys that throw it the fastest that I know, it doesn't even look like they're trying to throw it that fast. It just comes off their hand that fast because of their arm swing and how much their legs push into it at the line. And you do have a decent slide and you do have a decent push with your legs, but the fact that you pop up out of it, you use a little more energy popping up than you do pushing the ball forward. So that knee bend is going to be huge, and that push away and arm swing getting a little longer, a little lengthier, that's going to be huge as well to help you create a little more ball speed and generate more power down the lane. So I would love to see, this pop up and that knee bend, so where you maintain a little better balance at the line and you can really launch it off of your hand instead of you using some of your energy to just stay on balance and to hit up on the ball basically. So those are my tips to getting you a little better ball speed with the staying balanced at the line and creating that longer arm swing with a push away and just reaching a little further back in your backswing to have a little more momentum at the line. So those 2 things would help you create a little better ball speed. And I'm looking forward to seeing you improve these 2 things in your game and seeing where it takes you to the next level, hopefully. And hopefully we can get another review from you in a couple months and see how well you've improved. So thanks for submitting the video.
Hey guys, we appreciate you watching the whole video. And if you want a review just like this one, you can click the link in the description down below for a 50% off discount for your review. Thanks for watching.